Coming up this week on the Double T Insider, the Red Raider basketball team gave back during the holiday season by spreading cheer to children at UMC. Concussions continue to be a topic of conversation on all levels of football, ranging from middle school to the pros. We speak with some Texas Tech experts about concussions and what is being done for Tech athletes. The Hayes family is well known in Lubbock when it comes to softball and baseball at Lubbock Christian and Texas Tech alike. We introduce you to Shannon, Darren, and Larry Hayes this week. And Monique Smalls stops by for a full timeout where she will try and answer 10 random questions in 60 seconds. That and more coming up next on the Double T Insider. Let's go! The Double T Insider is brought to you by the College of Media and Communications and is entirely produced by students of the college. Happy New Year and welcome into a brand new edition of the Double T Insider. I'm Joshua Koch, joined by Erica Taylor as we bring you another week of inside access to Texas Tech athletics.
But first, we take a look at some of our most recent stories, and we'll start off with the Texas Tech men's basketball team and their holiday visit to the UMC Children's Hospital in Lubbock.
December equals the season of greetings and gift giving. This time around, Texas Tech men's basketball teamed up to greet the hearts of children at the University Medical Center just in time for the holidays.
It's a great time to just give back to people, especially during the holidays, and we're all together. And we love each other, so we get to go out and spread our love to people that some people have family, some people don't. We just get to just enjoy each other's company, giving back.
The masked Red Raiders came in hand with basketball shirts and team posters, lighting up the faces and creating smiles for kids at UMC. And one special person got the chance to meet his favorite basketball team.
What's your favorite team?
In the NBA,
LeBron James. Yeah. You know, you're a LeBron dude, I already can tell.
What's your favorite college team?
Texas Tech.
Anytime we can, come, give service to the community and make kids that, are sick and not their best right now, smile and happy, and just have those moments of happiness. You never know how long that can go with a kid, and this might be a lifetime memory for some of these kids, and it's great to, give back.
The Red Raiders walked the halls and even suited up to spread holiday cheer. And for the players, it was a reminder to see how showing their appreciation can be a special memory for those in the community.
That makes me happy because, I remember being a child and just seeing, the high school players back home, just going to camps and seeing them, and it was just great to see them. And being that person now, it makes me real happy to be able to put a smile on someone's face.
I think that, waking up every day with your health and strength is something that we take for granted, and these guys get an opportunity. God has blessed them with an opportunity to go out and play college basketball on a big stage, and sometimes they need to be reminded of what it could be like if the tables were turned another way. So this is not for show. This is something that these guys believe in. They all have their own individual battles with their own families and stuff, so those guys having a chance to come out and show the people that they believe in what we're doing in our program, and they want the community to be a part of our program, I think speaks volumes, and that's why we're out today. What's your name?
Jatavian Thomas.
All right, okay, JT, we'll call you JT.
Okay.
All right, you ready to roll?
I am.
We got a game in a couple of weeks, so we got a chance to get some practice in for you, okay?
Okay.
Let's teach you the plays and stuff.
Okay.
Can you shoot?
Yes, sir.
Can you dunk?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, okay, now you act like my players. Now you act like my players, all right, now you're good to go.
For the Double T Insider, I'm Erica Taylor.
After a quick break on the Double T Insider, we'll come back and tell you a story of what's being done to prevent concussions out on the football field. And later, see if Monique Smalls can answer 10 questions in 60 seconds in our full timeout segment. The Double T Insider rolls on after this.
Texas Tech is on the rise. Now a national research university, a growing campus steeped in tradition. 7 straight semesters of record enrollment. Wind research that's unrivaled in the world. The best trained and educated students for today's jobs. And to all this, we have just one thing to say. With pride, guns up.
Welcome back to the show, everyone. Even with new advancements of helmet technology, that's still not enough to prevent concussions in the game of football. Joshua Koch takes you inside to see what's being done here at Texas Tech to prevent these types of injuries.
In the past few years, the topic of concussions has grown from being the Monday morning water cooler conversation to making national headlines. Vicious hits like these are the main reason why, as are the repercussions afterwards, but what is being done to help battle concussions?
Typically when we respond, it's myself, Dr. Fye, and one of my assistants. And our protocol we have in place is that if we suspect one or both of those injuries is, I will go to the helmet first and foremost and stabilize the head and neck. That way Dr. Fye can assess the consciousness and all the other vitals of the individual.
For me personally, what I like to do is to remove the athlete, not just from the field, but from the venue itself, and so we like to take them inside to do that. Part of the evaluation that we do requires some question and answering type things that what we want to do is give them the opportunity to give their best attention or their best effort at going through the evaluation. And when you're on the sideline still in the middle of a game, there's a lot of other distractions, a lot of other things kind of going on that where they may not be able to give their best effort, and so we will take them on inside to be able to do the evaluation there, and that's where we'll start it.
After being injured, athletes must go through a range of tests where they scale the severity of their symptoms on a scale of 0 to 6, test their memory, balance, and more. And if they don't pass enough, they are done for the day.
If we're not 100% certain that the athlete does not have a concussion, then we're assuming that they do. And so there's just taking into some of the symptoms and some of the other things that they may not score exactly like we know that they can score on well enough, then we'll just remove them from competition and they're done.
Before getting to participate in that again, players must go through a long process, one that really has no timetable of when the player could be back.
For us, the comeback is whenever the athlete has become asymptomatic for 2 days, then it's 1 day of very light activity. Then if he has no return of symptoms, then the next day it's a little increased activity, like maybe running with gear on but with not contact. And if they have no return of symptoms, then we'll return them to practice, full practice with no contact. And then if they have no symptoms, then we release them fully. So it just kind of, whenever they get back in the game, this kind of depends on when we are in the week, when they, their symptoms go away and when we can get them back. Generally, once they're done, we may be checking on them just kind of as needed when things are going on, but it's not like a lot of set schedule coming back and checking with us.
A major component of contact when it comes to football is the helmet, and how much has been done to make it safer.
Joshua Koch here with Zane Perry, the Director of Equipment Operations at Texas Tech, and we're talking about the Texas Tech football helmet. And Zane, when we look at the helmet, it's changed quite a bit since you started back in '99.
It has. They've really just changed mostly the shell, made an oversized shell to help reduce concussions, and then a lot of the inner parts of the helmet, which we like to call the guts of the helmet, they change those, and every year there's changes to the helmet to do everything they can to help reduce the concussions.
Now, helmets are like any other kind of equipment. It breaks, it cracks. How much do y'all check the helmets, especially during a game, especially like offensive linemen, defensive linemen that are always hitting real hard?
During the week, we have our one day where myself and my 2 assistants, we go through the helmets and check, and then Friday setup, our students will go back through and double check and make sure they have helmets that they have to check, and check the main parts of the helmets to make sure everything's functioning and no cracks in the helmet. If it's cracked, we remove the helmet from the player immediately, and if there's a big hit, the player comes off the field, trainers are examining the player, we'll take a look at the helmet and just double check, make sure there's nothing wrong with the helmet, see if we need to switch it out.
Since Gamber, who started in the business 30 years ago, and Dr. Fye, who has been with the team a few seasons now, have both seen their fair share in changes when it comes to concussions and how they're treated.
Dramatically. And a lot of that's due to the science, the education, the knowledge. Everything we know about closed head injuries is really just grown in the last 5 to 7 years. I mean, yeah, we were educated on concussions, we managed concussions, we dealt with them, but we know what the effects are a lot more. And it's just the evolution of medicine, the evolution of science. I mean, it's not that we did wrong 20 years ago, is we just know more about how to handle that injury properly for the long-term betterment of the athlete.
And just from the time that I started here doing that to the time today, the treatment, the diagnosis, the definition of concussion has changed. So even 5 years ago, 5 seasons ago, concussion diagnosis or the definition was different then than it is right now. So things just keep changing.
At the end of their collegiate careers, most players will never play again, and Gamber wants them to be able to enjoy the rest of their life, and that's a responsibility he takes to heart.
These kids, most of our student athletes, will never make a dime out of this business. But I want them to be long, productive citizens, have families, children, and not suffer repercussions health-wise to what happened 20 years ago or 30 years ago when they were a student athlete here. My promise to the kid and the parent is I'm going to treat them like they're my own children, you know. And if I wouldn't put my son and daughter in that situation, I'm not going to put your son and daughter. Now, does that make us popular all the time? No, because coaches want them to play. Athletes want to play. Sometimes you get even very big helicopter parents that want them to play. But we're going to make that decision based on what's best for that kid in that situation.
Reporting for the Double T Insider, I'm Joshua Koch.
With the new softball season coming around the corner, we take a look at the family connection between the head coaches of Lubbock Christian University and Texas Tech. Joshua Koch has the story.
You know, Dad got us started in softball a long time ago. We grew up in the spring at the baseball park, and then in the summers we played fast pitch and followed him around playing fast pitch. So we've been around the game for a long time, and Shannon's kind of the one that got us into coaching softball. And when he did it, I was asking him, what are you thinking? And he told me that I'd want to do it someday, and I thought he was crazy, but now that I'm doing it, I love it and really glad I made the change.
When the name Hayes is brought up in any conversation in Lubbock, 3 people come to mind: Larry, Darren, and Shannon. All 3 have been involved at Texas Tech and LCU as coaches in baseball, basketball, and now softball. But it all started with Larry in 1971 at Lubbock Christian University and ended right back at LCU in 2009. And along the way, his sons got bit by the coaching bug.
Well, there's a big disadvantage being raised by a coach. You know, you're around the ballpark all the time, and there's good things and bad things that happen around the ballpark, and for kids, it's a lot of fun. And I think they grew up, you know, seeing how much fun it was to coach and all those different things, and so I think that led to that. I think when they started college, they were going to, I think one of them was going to be a lawyer, and I don't know what the other's going to be, but I guess they turned out bad and ended up being coaches. But no, it was coaching's fun if you can stand it, you know, and I think both of them learned how to do that.
Out of all 3, though, Shannon was the first to take a leap into coaching softball and started the Lubbock Christian softball program. It didn't take long for the LCU program to find success. First year, national champions. And ever since then, Shannon has never looked back.
We just like coaching. You know, I grew up playing, Dad was a basketball coach at Lubbock Christian and baseball coach, and that's when I loved being around basketball, but obviously baseball and playing baseball here at Tech. And then in the off season, the summer, Dad played fast pitch softball, and we watched until we got old enough where we could play. And so all 3 of those sports were something for me personally that I enjoyed. I enjoyed the competition. And
nowadays, Shannon coaches the Red Raiders while Darren coaches the Lady Chaps. With both teams being in town, why not play each other? Despite it being a friendly game, there is still the competitive side, as they are brothers.
You know, they're so competitive. You know, I hate to see them playing each other, because I remember growing up, you know, all it takes is one word and they'd be wrestling or scuffling or doing something, and so that's still there, but they're both, they see the advantage of doing this, and they both have good enough teams that they can test the other one enough and get to see things, and they work together on that. And so I enjoy this, you know, a lot, but watching a team play if your son's coaching is not a whole lot of fun. You know, it's kind of nerve-wracking. I'd rather do it myself.
Even in his retirement, Larry is still around both programs, and his sons enjoy having Dad around the ballpark.
Yeah, Dad's around a lot. I mean, he comes and watches our scrimmages, and he'll come and watch us practice from time to time. And I know he throws bat in practice a lot for Darren. He would throw bat in practice for me if it was NCAA legal, but he really enjoys it. And you know, him coaching 1 year in transition after I left Lubbock Christian for Lubbock Christian, having the ladies there, it got him hooked on women's softball as well.
Every week the three meet for Sunday lunches, and with Larry, Shannon, and Darren all being former and current coaches, you can guess what the conversation is about. Yes, softball.
Yeah, I've always been blessed, and that's a big blessing there. And you know, everybody else gets tired of hearing the three of us talk. You know, Sunday lunch. You know, they have to talk about important things, and we're down talking about softball and recruiting.
It drives our wives crazy. They get tired of hearing about it, and they kind of tune us out and talk about whatever else. But you know, we're talking about our team, who's playing well, where we need to get better, recruiting, all that kind of stuff. So it's probably pretty boring to everybody else, but it keeps us entertained.
Reporting for the Double T Insider, I'm Joshua Koch.
Coming up, we take a look at what's ahead for Texas Tech athletics.
And it's time for another full timeout. Double T Insider is back after the break.
Texas Tech is on the rise. Now a national research university, a growing campus steeped in tradition. 7 straight semesters of record enrollment. Wind research that's unrivaled in the world. The best trained and educated students for today's jobs. And to all this, we have just one thing to say. With pride, guns up.
Welcome back to the show, everyone. Monique Smalls joins us for a full timeout with Erica Taylor.
Double T Insider here, I'm Erica Taylor, and we're taking a full timeout with Monique Smalls, a game where I give her 10 scenarios, and she has to answer them to the best of her ability, all in 60 seconds. All right, Mo, are you ready?
I'm ready.
Okay, 60 seconds on the clock, please. All right. If I was stranded on a deserted island, the 3 things I must have are?
Oh, a phone.
The first thing on my mind on a Monday morning is?
It's Monday.
My teammates say I am?
Short.
My first job was?
Fuddruckers here in Lubbock.
I would donate $1 million to?
A autism charity.
The most important thing I've learned as a Lady Raider is?
Communicating in family and business.
My favorite class at Texas Tech is?
Woo! None.
If I could teleport back into time, I would travel to?
Back in the 90s when I was little.
My favorite cartoon character as a kid was?
Cat dog.
My biggest pet peeve is?
Smacking gum.
10
seconds left.
All right, you beat the clock by far, and she just set a new record. Thanks for playing, Mo. I'm with the Double T Insider, and we just took a full timeout with Monique Smalls.
With the show winding down, we give you a quick preview of what's coming up for Texas Tech athletics.
Red Raider basketball opens up conference play at home on Tuesday. Tech faces Baylor inside the USA with first tip set for 6 p.m. The game can be seen on ESPN2. The next night, it's the ladies' turn. The Lady Raiders host Kansas State inside the USA. First tip set for 7 p.m. and that game can be seen on Fox College Sports. Finally, on Saturday, the Red Raider basketball team stays home to take on Kansas. First tip is set for 3 p.m. inside the USA, and that ball game can be seen on the Big 12 Network.
Well, that does it for this week's show, everyone. Thanks for watching.
And be sure to tune in next week as well. Also go search for us on Facebook and like our page and never miss another episode.
For Joshua Koch, I'm Erica Taylor. Have a great week, everyone.